Hey guys, welcome to Keep Giving Reviews. I am Lan Mind, and with me is Johnny BoomBotz. What's up, Johnny? How you doing?
What's going on, Lan Mind? How you doing today?
Good, excited. We are finally here. Loki, season one, episode one, Disney Plus original series from Marvel. This is their third installment, and I'm excited for it. I woke up early this morning just thinking, what are they gonna give us? How long is this episode gonna be? And it was 51 minutes, supposedly, like without the credits and whatnot. But I was just excited to dive in and press play. What was your excitement like leading up to this episode?
Up to the episode, I was really excited. I didn't know what to expect. I kind of didn't go with any expectations due to like the last two shows we've had. I didn't want to set myself up for failure, but I went in there with the hope and the intention that they were going to do Loki justice and really just continue with
Yeah.
continue going the path they're going. And I wasn't disappointed so far. So,
Yeah, leading up to it, I can't say I had low expectations because of how well Marvel has done. And being that WandaVision was okay and then Falcon and Winter Soldier was even better, I'm like, Loki has to be a lot better. And then I'm thinking too, Loki, he's one person where in WandaVision you had Scarlet Witch and you had Vision, obviously, and Falcon and Winter Soldier, you had both characters. This one's just Loki, it's just him. He has to carry this show. But I was so excited for it because ending with Endgame and then leading into this, I wanted to know what the timeline was going to be. And being that Marvel Disney acquired Fox, I want to know how they're going to fit them into this multiverse that we keep hearing about. And maybe this is where they like sneak in Fantastic Four. I don't know. Maybe Mephisto. I'm not sure. But leading into it, I would say I have high expectations and I just couldn't wait to watch it. When the episode first starts, and we're gonna go diving deep into this episode, and this is full spoilers. So if you haven't watched this, go watch the show and then come back and watch this video or listen to us wherever you get your podcast. When it started in a scene from Endgame where they go back to the fight in 2012, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
yes.
And
Yep.
then there's like one little scene where you see Loki like waving bye to the Hulk, and I'm like, oh, they added that. That's something different. And then they went right into it where he gets the Tesseract and just teleports somewhere else. And I said, okay, where is this? How did they pick him up? And then we saw in the trailer that there's like these dimensional doors that bring him from place to place, and then it's just a roller coaster ride. I, for one, was blown away by one, the acting from Tom Hiddleston. I think he did an amazing job in this first episode. I thought the episode overall was really good, but him being confused and thinking that he's still a god, it was so good. It was him, and I enjoyed that. What were your thoughts as soon as the episode started?
So I will say that as soon as the episode started, I got taken back as well too by a little bit of it because it was an emotional ride for me. It was going back to
Really?
2012. It was making me go back like mentally. I'm like, oh man, like this is where we were. Like we were at Avengers. Like this is where they
Yeah,
all came together. I remember like and then I started getting like nostalgia feelings of like what the whole series, the phase one, phase two, and
yeah,
going through it. So I kind of got like that in my mind, but Tom Hiddleston, though, of course, the guy he blows it out of the park.
yeah,
He's Loki, and I
yeah.
mean, he does an amazing job with it. And what I loved about it was the very beginning of it, showing him like being confused, not knowing what's going on, kind of thing. Like when he
Yeah.
first lands in Mongolia, and he's just sitting there like, and he's just still being himself. Like no matter what he did, it's
Hmm.
very much him. Like
Yeah.
confused, but still trying to keep that mentality of like, no, I'm
Yeah.
a god, bow down to me,
Yeah,
kind of
especially when he
person.
steps on the little rock just to get a little leverage over the
Yeah,
civilians there. Like he wants to
yeah,
pump his chest kind of thing. So I get what you mean by that.
yeah. And that was really interesting with that. It was really really well done.
Now there was a part where you miss as he's like walking through this what is it called again? The
TVA.
TVA, and you said you missed it, but you see a scroll there. A little
Yes.
Easter egg. They're like dropping these scrolls around, little by little. You see it in Spider-Man. You saw it in WandaVision, and now you're seeing it here. Of course, you saw it in Captain Marvel. So they're throwing them in here, setting us up for the Secret Wars, right? Or
Yes.
I think it's, yeah, Secret Wars. And I just thought it was a cool like little nod. Like, here you go. You're just gonna see him for a couple seconds, then we're just gonna keep it moving. I was looking for a lot of Easter eggs in this episode, and I joke when I say Mephisto because in the episode, as you move forward, there was like a murder, I believe, and that's where Owen Wilson's character, Mobius, comes in, and he's like trying to find out who's murdering his officers, right? The Minutemen, and he goes to a little boy and asks the boy like, who did this. The boy points at a devil looking creature, and I'm like, oh, there goes Mephisto. But we even the people who made the show said Mephisto is not part of this series, just to, get rid of that thought.
Right.
And we all know this is another variant, so to speak, of Loki, and that's what we get a little deeper into the show. What were your thoughts when you saw that? Did you say, oh, Mephisto, even though you know it wasn't him?
Surprisingly, shockingly, I didn't. And you
No.
know me, and I'm always the one that's like, I'm always, even like throughout WandaVision, it was like Mephisto, Mephisto,
Yeah.
Mephisto, Mephisto. Even during Falcon and Winter Soldier, I even threw out a Mephisto joke
Yeah,
here and
yeah,
there.
yeah.
And shockingly, this entire episode, it never crossed my mind at all
Mm.
to cross over to any other thing. Like, even it didn't even joke around. The only thing I kept crossing over to was Doctor Strange.
Really? I
That
didn't
was the
even
main
get
thing that I
that.
kept.
I never got that vibe.
So I got Doctor Strange because of the multiverse, because of the
Oh
fact that
yeah,
they said
they
that
mention it.
especially when they mentioned the fact of, because my first question within the first 10 minutes was, they're arresting Loki. Why didn't they arrest Captain America? Why didn't they arrest Iron Man? Why don't they arrest any of the Avengers when they go back in time, when they're time jumping? They during their time heist. I'm like, my mind was like, and I told my wife too. I'm like, the first 10 minutes, I'm like, why Loki? What the hell is the big deal?
Yeah, yeah,
But then they touch on it afterwards, and they
yeah,
say that that was supposed to happen,
yeah,
which in my mind goes, oh, okay, that makes sense then, because that's with Doctor Strange, and he's talking in his, when he's like, oh, all
looking
these
at all the
different realities, and
scenarios.
this is the
Yeah,
one that.
yeah,
So it makes me think so much of that, and it was just, there's so many Easter eggs, so many things in there that made me just go, man, I can't wait for Nightmare. I can't wait for, well, let me not say that yet. We'll get into that. But I can't wait for Doctor Strange. I can't wait for where they go with this,
yeah,
because they're leaving it open for a lot. And they're leaving it open for a way to go. And did you notice everybody had the theories during the trailers that they kept on showing about DB Cooper, and DB Cooper was a variant of a Loki, like, because they knew he was going to be different variants, different
yeah,
versions of Loki. And it turns out that it wasn't a variant at all. It was just Loki and Thor, because Loki lost a bet and had to do it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
I didn't know that was gonna happen. I
yeah,
was expecting more from that because you saw it in the trailer. So I'm like,
right.
it was just like a bet. That was it. It was a cool nod, but it was like I wanted more. Like, how and why? I wanted that conversation between him and Thor, and see how that took place. And that's what I meant when we spoke privately. I said I just wanted more, and I felt like they focused too much on his story that we already know. And then again, there's a lot of newcomers, there's a lot of new eyeballs, so they have to like go deeper into the story and explain. And they did very well. That they really broke everything down in this first episode.
Yeah, I think they definitely did break it down a lot in the first episode, and I love the fact that we know what happens to Loki in his timeline. We see how he dies by
Yeah.
Thanos. We
Hmm.
see how the mother dies, the whole yards, but he never saw it,
Yeah.
because at his timeline, it just stopped at 2012.
Yeah.
He kept going, and
Yeah.
everything else kept going through, but he got pulled off to the side, which made him get that idea of like that changed the mentality change in a way.
Yeah.
Um, One thing that I do want to touch on, and I know it might be off the wall, but something I thought about with this episode, after watching WandaVision, after watching Falcon Winter Soldier, and now watching the first episode of Loki, I've noticed that each one of these episodes, these shows, are geared and they play out like their character does. So WandaVision was kind of all over the place, because Wanda herself is all over the place. She's never really like got a complete grasp on it. So every single episode of WandaVision was kind of all over the place in a way. It kind of
Okay.
left you guessing in a way. Falcon Winter Soldier. Falcon is a high-paced, fast-moving action guy. he's quick on his feet, and he's always been that way. Even with Bucky too,
Mm-hmm.
they're very action paced, and that's the way the show was.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very down to earth, very homey, because Bucky and them, they were very like that, kind of like with Iron Man. They were very like
Their
family
personalities, yeah.
oriented kind of thing, right? And now with Loki, every single thing is a joke. Like, even when it's not even Loki on screen, it's still a joke, but yet it's got serious tones to it.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's very much of like there's a joke, but it's gonna be, no, I'm being serious, and then somebody else
Yeah.
comes out of there and goes, "Shut the hell up and sit
It
down."
gives me
Like,
that Thor Ragnarok vibe. Yeah,
exactly, and
yeah.
I'm noticing that. I feel that each one of them, when they go to their individual characters, they seem to be playing off of the character itself for the episode. So it's not really like an Avengers. It's not really like a.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally based to them, and the show goes around that,
Yeah.
which it should be. But I don't know.
No.
Something I thought about.
And then we get a little further into the episode, and he stands in front of the judge, so to speak. I don't remember the character's name. She's an actual, according to the comic books, and I never read Loki. This is all the stuff I found online. She is the wife or love interest of I forgot the guy's name, and they already casted him. He's from Love and Country or something like that. He's gonna be
Oh,
playing.
the
Oh
one from
man.
Lovecraft
Yeah,
County,
yeah,
right?
yeah. He's gonna be playing Crane, I think it's called. Crane the Con the Crane, something like that.
Kang.
Kang, I'm sorry. I don't remember all these characters. Marvel got so many damn characters. So anyway, Loki stands in front of the judge and she asks, how do you plead? And he starts saying like he's guilty of certain things, but breaking the timeline, he's not. He's thinking he's doing what he's supposed to do. And he's like, "Oh, I'm a god." He keeps saying that, like, "I'm a god." I don't need to be here. And then the powers don't work. And even when you probably didn't notice it, but when he comes back, he comes into TVA. He has the Tesseract, or the Tesseract is there with them with the Minuteman, and you see the power just like die, like a candle just goes out, and that's because the powers there don't exist in TVA, in that realm. You are powerless pretty much. It's really the electronics
Right.
that they have that controls them, which rewinds time, fast forwards, or whatever they do with it. You really see more of like rewinding the time. um and and then of course you see Owen Wilson's character like, I'm gonna help him. The judge and Owen Wilson's character Mobius, she's telling him like, you don't want to do this. He says, no, I want to do this. And it's really because he has the idea of like, we need him to capture him, because they're looking for variants of Loki. And I knew that's what this show was going to be about from the beginning. It was just him stopping himself in the future or any timeline. And they do a good job of breaking down the timeline. I think even better of understanding the timeline than they did in Endgame. They show like a little cartoony
Oh
from like
yeah.
the 70s of how the timeline operates and how you break it and how it messes up everything else. And this may be going overboard, but it kind of felt religious in a way, because it's like your fate, right? You like, whatever happens to you was supposed to happen to you. Everything happens for a reason, kind of thing, right? And that's your fate. Like, you were supposed to die by the hands of Thanos. That was supposed to be your fate, and that was going to be the end of your story. But because you took the Tesseract after they went back in time, and then you disturbed that timeline, you need to fix that and go back, and you really just, you need to die. So as you move forward in the episode, they give you everything he's done throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and he's seeing a lot of these things like for the first time, like you said, seeing his mom die, seeing himself die, seeing how his brother came to love him, and how they became a team and Thor Ragnarok. Seeing his father like embrace them both as his sons. You seeing all that stuff in these reviews of what happened, and he never seen some of these things because he hasn't lived it yet. So I felt it was kind of like a religious, like, that's your fate. You were supposed to do this and you didn't. And the Avengers were supposed to do this because that's how they defeat Thanos, kind of thing. So it's like, you were supposed to go through this route and you changed it. And that's why some people say, oh, you shouldn't regret anything because it was supposed to happen. You learn from these mistakes, kind of thing. and you're checking your
My
hair
camera
out.
lighting just went no, my lighting just went so horribly, like, I just got so red, I
Like
was
this
like,
guy.
"What the hell is wrong with me?" Sorry. Um, no, I definitely agree with that. I can definitely understand where you're coming from and see
Yeah.
that too as well, and oh
Hmm.
my god, my lighting, I'm sorry, guys. So, but one thing that I did also see that was interesting with that was, um, along the same lines as what you were saying too, like how, you're supposed to be the timeline and all that too, and how,
Yeah.
like, basically using him to capture himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
What baffles me and bothers me though is, and I'm sure they're gonna touch on it, I don't know how they're gonna do
Hmm.
it, is they this rendition, this version of Loki was attacking the Minutemen and killing the Minutemen before 2012 Loki
Yeah.
jumped the
In like
timeline.
18 something, I forgot it was 1856 or something. I'm like, whoa. So when
Right.
did this start? But he's
So
old, right? Like he's a
right.
god. So
Right, but see, my thing is though, is that if they're catching variants of him, of Loki, basically, they're trying to catch variants of Loki now.
hmm.
But now they caught this one variant of Loki. But now, what variant of Loki went? How like I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, and
Hmm.
Doctor Who is very all wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. It's everywhere. Like
Hmm.
nothing is ever consistent really with time
Yeah.
frames. And so I have a grasp for the most part when it comes to time travel with this stuff, but I still don't understand how they're going to touch on the fact that they caught Loki and they're trying to they just caught Loki from the 2012. But now Loki what Loki timeline did Loki jump out of at some point in time, whatever, to go do that? So did he jump out of time in the past? Did he jump out of time in the future again? Did this Tesseract thing take him somewhere else?
Okay.
Or is that going to lead into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, where all of a sudden, like the multiverse is there, but the way that they describe the multiverse doesn't make sense because they described the multiverse as there was a multiverse war
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they
One.
decided to tie it together, make one huge thing going forward. And that's not the way the multiverse works. The multiverse doesn't work where they're all traveling together. And what makes these people like Kang the Conqueror and the rest of them
You
choose
froze. There you
that
go.
these
Okay.
are what's going to happen? Like what makes them go that Kang the Conqueror is going to be in charge of? This is the way time goes. So
Yeah.
I definitely think there's going to be way more in depth as far as like who's really in charge, who's not in charge, because they touched on the
Yeah.
Nightmare Department.
Hmm.
So I mean, and I mean, from what I know, we're talking about it's not even going to be the one with the cloak when she kills all the men.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's going to be a she. That's going to be female Loki. That's going to be
Well, yeah, that's been
the
the rumor because of this the set photos and stuff like that that have been leaked. Of
right.
yeah, and people were thinking that it was her Black Widow's character for when she passed. Like if when you look at the trailer, you see Loki speaking to another female. People were thinking, oh, is that Black Widow? And then like no, there's set photos that confirm that there is a supposedly female variant of Loki. And then in the comic books, you have a kid Loki, you have like a president Loki. There's like different variants, obviously, of Loki. And yeah, even to touch on the nightmare thing, when Loki said, this is a nightmare. He's like, oh, you don't, and Mobius says you don't want to go to that department. It's really a nightmare. And I was
I'll
like,
help you. I'll
okay,
help you burn that down.
yeah, I was like, okay, that's a nod, or is it not? Disney and Marvel, they like to mess with us. Are they gonna really introduce Nightmare? I don't know because there's so many moving parts, and that's what I meant when I told you. I said I thought the episode was good, but I wanted more information because there was a lot of things. As a fan, I've been watching this since the beginning with Iron Man 1 that I don't care too much about his past. You're giving me too much of the emotional roller coaster that I guess you do need, but I didn't care for it. So I'm like, give me more information of how this time thing works. Where are we going? How are we getting there? Who's who?
I mean, in all reality, though, if you think about it, they did give you everything you could want. They didn't really go too much into his backstory. The only thing that they gave you the backstory with was of when they show you his life. They show you what he did when he's watching it.
Yeah,
But that was not even for us though. That was for him to get him to become like it
yeah,
was plot points for him to become the Loki we have.
yeah.
So they didn't really, and I mean, and you're talking about a 50-minute episode. I
I
don't feel
know.
that they touched too much on his past. They gave you a lot of other things. They showed you the TVA. They
Yeah,
showed you Miss Minute. They
yeah.
showed you, they showed you. the comedy aspects too, like take a ticket. He didn't have one, so they got him blown away. And they prune him
Evaporated or whatever.
like
Yeah.
a tree. They prune them right. So I mean, going forward though, I mean, you're talking about. I don't even know how many episodes this is. How many
No,
episodes they said it's
I
gonna be.
I didn't see the breakdown. They haven't put any details on how many episodes, so I don't know. But I can only imagine it's probably gonna be like 6. And then the thing is, the reason why I'm saying it's not gonna be that many is because we have Black Widow coming in July. So you don't want the TV series to overlap with Black Widow if there's a leadway into Black Widow, which everybody doesn't know what Black Widow's about because, as you know, Black Widow died in Endgame. So why did she even have her own movie? So stuff like that.
July 14th. July 14th is the last episode.
And when does Black Widow start?
Let me take a look at that real quick. Hold on. Actually,
So
good
July
question. Black
14th.
Widow release date.
Let's see, guys. So today was episode 1, 2, 3,
July
4,
9th.
5. So by the time you get to July 7th, there's going to be a 5th episode, and then it's going to end July 14th, which is a week after Black Widow comes out, and that'll be 6. That's what I thought. I thought 6 episodes. Okay.
Yeah, so you're gonna get the 5th episode on the 7th, and then Black Widow on the 9th,
Mm-hmm.
and then the following Wednesday you'll get episode 6
Which is
of
the finale.
Loki, which is
Right.
gonna be the finale.
Okay.
Right. And
Do you think
I
they
don't know.
tie
I mean,
in
this should
together?
be,
If there's any movie, do you think this would tie into that?
I don't think that Black Widow's gonna tie into any of them. To be honest, I think Black Widow's gonna just tie into her own storyline basically because of the fact that I feel like Black Widow just needs the justice done because she's been around for how long already, and
Yeah,
she never
yeah.
got really her story yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Black Widow is more. I personally feel Black Widow might be more of a fan appeasement kind of thing. Like here you go,
Okay.
here's your character story arc. Um, I think that this is gonna because Black Widow is not part of Phase 4.
Yeah. They said that's not part of
She's
Phase
not
4.
really like right. So she's not really detrimental to
But
what's
that's
going to be going
that's what
on.
I always felt like. Then why make this? That was my whole thing. Why make this film if it's not gonna participate in Phase 4? What information are we getting from this, or are we just simply being entertained and say thank you, Black Widow, and have a nice day? I think that would be a waste of money and time if this is not gonna lead somewhere into Phase 4, even though it's not part of Phase 4. And that's why I feel like this show is so important. Loki's so important because it will not kick off Phase 4, but I think it will help us understand with Eternals coming, Shang-Chi, and then we have Spider-Man, and then multiverse, Doctor Strange. So it's like there's a lot of stuff before we get to Doctor Strange. This has to like help us understand, right? I mean, this has to give us something. Or is it just a Loki thing and they don't touch on anything or anyone else?
See, what's good and weird and bad all at the same time.
Good, weird, and bad.
Yeah, because if you think about it, it's good because they're giving you opportunities
Okay.
because of the fact that as Loki being Loki, they can go anywhere they want to with it. Because now they're fucking with timelines. Now they're
Mhm.
fucking with multiverses, and so they're going that route to touch on what might be coming with Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, etc. Weird because of the fact that you don't know where they're going to go with it. You don't know how they're going to end up touching into this and bringing it over to other shows. Bad because of the fact that you want continuation from Endgame going forward, but they're not going to do that because this is taking place opposite. Because remember, WandaVision took place after the snap, right after the snap.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
within a week.
Same
after the
thing with
snap.
the Spider-Man. Yeah.
Falcon and Winter right, Spider-Man, Falcon and Winter Soldier took place after everybody's already dead, gone.
Yeah.
This is taking place. They're all still alive. They're doing their thing.
Yeah,
right
this
now in
is literally
2012. They're
right
still
before this whole drama goes down.
right in the middle of it all.
Yeah.
So Thanos is not really a thing yet. Thor
Okay.
Dark World didn't even happen yet. So now it's kind of like, oh, you're opening yourself because scrolls are a thing now, but scrolls weren't even around because
That's a good point. That's a good point because you introduced scrolls before we got introduced into scrolls because of the timeline. Oh, that's a good point, Johnny. You make a good point, my friend.
Black Widow can be done two ways. Black Widow can be brought into the history of it because of the fact that remember she dies.
Yeah,
She dies. Now you're giving the fans what they want because they want to give a history of it because maybe you can't bring her back And you could, I mean, nobody's ever dead in comics except for Uncle Ben. Um, so I
Sad Uncle
mean,
Ben.
it's just known that way. Yeah, no. But like, so I mean, you can bring her back in all reality, but at the same time, though, too, is that they might be just giving her a way to give I almost said Romana, Natalie Romanoff or whatever, uh, like just to give them like the fan base, to give them like her story that they always wanted, because
Yeah,
she popped into Iron Man,
yeah,
she popped into the Avengers, and she was good who she was with Black Widow, but people never really got a backstory for her.
yeah.
But yeah, Loki is going to be opening up doors to so many more things going forward, and that's where Spider-Man comes in. 'Cause I think Spider-Man is going to be opening. I think this is going to open the door for Spider-Man. Spider-Man is going to open the door for Marvel's
The
Doctor
multiverse.
Strange
Yeah. Okay.
multiverse, because this is going to introduce you to Eternals. This will introduce you to Kang the Conqueror. This will introduce you
Yeah,
to
that I believe. Yeah,
multiverse
yeah.
wars, Secret Wars, everything else too. So this might be the one that just blows the fucking lid on everything for everybody.
Because we still have shows that haven't been made for release yet. We still have She-Hulk, we have Miss Marvel, we have I believe they're making the season 2 of Falcon and Winter Soldier, and also it's been confirmed by Elizabeth Olsen that there's not gonna be a WandaVision 2. So there are other shows coming up. We also got Night Moon or Moon Knight. That's gonna be a TV show as well. That's not a movie.
Moon Knight.
Yeah, and you also have Hawkeye. His TV show I think is gonna be coming next, where him and his daughter, he trains her, and there's already been set photos of that, of them filming Hawkeye. So this is the last show before these movies start kicking off, and I'm happy of where they're at, and I can't wait to see more. I hope the rest of the season is just like this. They give us a little bit of what we want to know, but give us enough to hold on to be like, I want to come back, because I want to come back. Please
Yes.
make these every episode. Please make them an hour long, and make us want to come back for more, because I need to see what happens next. And I just love Tom Hiddleston. I think he's doing a great job as Loki. He's done it since day one, and this show I think is gonna be a hit. I think it's gonna be great. I don't know if they're gonna make a season 2. I don't know what they'll do, but this is great. He's doing a great job. This is a great show. Marvel, Disney, doing a great job. What do
Yeah,
you?
I mean, I definitely agree. I think that going forward, this is going to be something new for them, like a new, like not something new, but something that they're going to continue going with the idea of doing these shows, because it's downtime between the movies,
Yeah,
but yet it's still it's almost like a movie, just a
yeah,
very long, drawn out movie where they're getting you more details that you can't get in.
yeah.
Um, like you said too, like you still have She-Hulk coming in, which is going to introduce Abomination, which was in the original Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have so many plans for so many characters and things too. Like I think that a lot of us, when we first saw Iron Man 1, we never expected, Phase 4 Marvel.
I don't
Like
think
we just
anyone did. Yeah,
Iron Man. Oh, Iron Man, that's great. This is an amazing movie. And then you
yeah.
got cool Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3. Whoa, Avengers. What the fuck? So, and I think that people are still, I know I am still too, thinking in my mind, Endgame. Like not Endgame the movie, but Endgame. Like, oh, okay, another 4 more years we'll have of Marvel. That's gonna be it.
Yeah,
But I think that Marvel is looking like, yo, we got another 50, 60 years. This is gonna be going on because we got Young Avengers coming up. We're building the story for Young Avengers. We're building the story for Phase 5 of Marvel, Phase 4, Phase 6. We're building for characters you never heard of. Moon Knight. People don't know Moon Knight. People
yeah.
don't know.
They don't
So
know
they're
Miss
just
Marvel.
like, yo,
Yeah,
we got right. We have the formula for it.
yeah,
We're gonna run with it. We're gonna take it. And yo, everybody that grew up with comics, congratulations, guys! You now have it. This is your life going forward. Welcome to the MCU. Like,
yeah.
and
This
I
is
think that's
great.
where we're going with it.
Yeah, MCU
Huh.
I can say is consistency, where if you compare it to DCU, it doesn't compare. I mean, the MCU from day one, they have been so consistent with their movies and tying them all in together. This is the first time they're doing TV shows. I mean, they've done TV shows like The Shield. They've done TV shows like Miss Carter, right? And they've done those kind of like Marvel TV shows.
Yeah.
Agent Carter, I'm sorry.
Hmm.
So they had their own shows, but they never really like kind of tied them in. But now we have these shows at Disney Plus that are literally tied into the MCU. They're literally from the MCU.
Did you notice something, by the way, which you brought up, Agents of Shield, and
When they talk
something
about
that I
Coulson,
thought,
Agent
yeah.
Coulson.
So they mentioned to him that you killed Coulson, and they show him kill Coulson, but they never mentioned to him that Coulson comes back to life. They just leave it as the
I
fact that they all
know.
teamed up and got him. So I'm like,
I felt
are
weird
you
about
trying to
that.
completely ignore Agents of Shield? Are you trying to like make me believe like, okay, that didn't happen?
I feel weird
Because
about
you
that. I
guys are
do.
talking about Ghost Rider and everybody else coming in, and they already introduced Ghost Rider. They introduced these characters.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I felt weird about that. I when I watched it, I'm like, so wait, you're not gonna say that he's alive and they didn't have like 6 seasons of Agents of Shield? Did that never happen?
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know, man.
Exactly. I mean,
I don't know where they go with it. I'm just happy that we are finally here with Loki, and I just can't wait to see more of it. What were your if you were to rate it 1 out of 10? What would you rate it?
well, my rating scale compared to yours is way
I
different.
can't wait for this one.
Um,
I bet you says 10.
I would definitely, I would definitely say at least a 7 to 8 out of 10, most likely. Because of the fact that it gave me what I wanted. It gave me a lot. And now, mind you, though, too, like my rating scale, I'm comparing it also to the last two Marvel shows that we've had. I'm basing it upon Marvel shows, not upon Marvel movies. So, with that being said, um, definitely better than WandaVision.
Oh, yes,
WandaVision
yes.
left me
So
with a
as a
lot to
first
be wanting
episode,
for.
better than WandaVision. I totally agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. First episode action wise compared to Falcon Winter Soldier, it doesn't compare because
Mm.
Falcon Winter Soldier blew us out of the
Action
water with
packed from the
action
beginning.
scenes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, right. But story wise though, I really, really felt that they did a great story. That's why I want to give it like a 7 to 8, because mainly the story, the acting out of it, um, and the overall, it didn't leave me with questions going, fuck, but it left me with enough questions to go, all right, you know what? I'm curious. Let me see. Like, what are they going to show us next week? What's coming
Yeah,
up?
yeah,
I'm not running with fan theories, but I'm running with the idea of like, damn, who are they or what are they doing kind of thing.
yeah.
So
Now,
yeah.
so you're basically saying 7.5 because you said 7 to 10. So
Yeah,
we're
I can
kind of
do
in the
that.
middle.
7.5, yeah.
This is gonna surprise you because I thought it was a great episode. Like as far as story, I thought when you consider the first 3 shows is better than WandaVision, but it's not better than Falcon and Winter Soldier when it comes to the first episode. And I love Falcon and Winter Soldier's first episode. So if I had to put them in 3, it would be Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, and then WandaVision. That would be my order for the first episode of these series. But I thought the acting was great.
Okay.
Like I said, I give this an 8 or just 8. I thought, like I said, like I told you earlier, I thought the episode was really good. I felt like they focused too much on his past, but I understand why they did it. I didn't hate it. I didn't absolutely love it, but it kept me wanting more. So yes, you got me. I'm coming back week after week. I have to watch this. I cannot not watch it. You know what I'm saying? So keep doing what you're doing, man. This is great. I'm loving it. I hope this leads into greater and better things because apparently phase 4 is going to be more like spacey kind of thing. We're going to be in space more, and we already have that with Loki. We're going to get that with
Oh, because we
Eternals.
got Guardians.
Yeah,
Right. Guardians of the
Guardians.
Galaxy.
So there's a lot more spacey kind of stuff going on in phase 4.
So just repeat for me real quick.
Oh
What
god.
was your overall number?
Number 8. While you said 7.5 and you argued with me as if you were giving it a 200, I gave it an 8. You guys have to
Yo,
see the
Mayamo
conversations
CG,
we
you need to
have.
hear that. You need to hear that shit. Mayamo CG, you heard that right here, right? He
How
gave
I
that an
rate it
8.
better than
With
Johnny.
all the shit talking that he does, with all the shit talking he does, he gave it an 8.
That's it. That's it. Anything else you want to say before we go?
Um, no, I gotta get ready for whiskey night. So
All right, guys. So plug that in because we're dropping this. You're seeing it. We're recording it today. It's dropping today.
oh yeah.
So
So yeah, guys. So tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time, on my stream on my Twitch channel, Johnny_BoomBotz BoomBotz is Whiskey Wednesday tonight. I am playing Phasmophobia with another couple streamers, at least one other streamer. I don't like horror games. I am already shitting bricks to begin with. I tried the training, and I got scared by a cactus. So we should see what's gonna happen tonight, but I am dropping a lot of information, new website, new merchandise, everything else too on my site. So guys, check it out. Hope to see everybody there. And if you do come by, please make sure that you guys came by from the YouTube channel, from Keep Gaming Podcast, because we love to see it. We love to make sure we get everybody out there.
Yes, yes.
And I want to make sure we support each other, guys.
All right. And just so you guys know, every Wednesday up until when Loki finishes, remember it's going to be 6 episodes. So you're going to get 6 episodes of reviews from when the show drops. So just be prepared. Every Wednesday when Loki drops, you're going to get a review from Johnny and I. And we drop a new podcast every Monday. So tune in for that. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so. And make sure you share with your friends and family. I also stream every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday on Twitch at Lan Mind _. I'll put all the links down below. And if you don't have time to watch the show, you can always listen to it wherever you get your podcast. Just type in Keep Gaming Podcast and you will find our podcast there. And that's it for me. I want to thank you all guys I want to thank all you guys. I said it right. Whatever. I want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for the love and
It's
support.
okay. We understand.
And until next time, keep gaming. Peace.